Today is a nice warm day, 1st of April, and I just wanted to do a video and show what to do with the frames that are from hives that basically did not survive winter for various reasons, and sometimes you have frames like that. So there is some capped honey and then some mold due to pollen, and here's some dead bees and more honey and some mold and then uncapped honey, but otherwise the frame is nice. So what I normally do with such a frame, I first wash it underwater, like to wash all of this. See, the bees already getting honey. Wash it underwater to get rid of all of this dirt, like this poop from the bee, and then this mold. First I wash it away, even here, and then I use some hydrogen peroxide to disinfect it. And in some areas where I don't have honey, but maybe like area like this where I had that brood, but this one I probably won't even do it because it's just a little bit of that stuff. So I clean it first, then what I do, I uncap it. After I clean it, and I uncap it, if needed I spray with warm water, and I put in a hive for the bees, to feed the bees, and for at the same time to clean it. But I don't put it in the main chamber, I put it a little bit outside. And in this hive I already have a box that I was using for that purpose, and I'll show you the setup once I get this frame ready. Here's the frame after being washed, and see there's some water, some mold wasn't washed away, so I use this fork, clean it like that, just to remove it, and then I'll wash it one more time. See, like this dead bees that are capped, I uncap them like that. So this also I can remove because this is not very straight comb, but other than that, this is really good frame, a really good frame, like worker cells, and is not too old, and lots of honey. So here same thing, a little bit of mold due to pollen, so I remove it like this. Then in this section I have some of the dead bees and more mold. I remove it again, just slightly, then bees will clean the rest, just make their work easier. So I do it like this, remove all of this for most of these dead bees. Now here this is just honey, capped honey, so but this is mold, so I remove it. And then this is some poop, I want to wash it better. And here as well. Now here's the hive that I'm working with. I wanted to explain it. Like in the springtime I put this brood box on the bottom, so this was mainly brood, and then I put those frames that I want to clean right here. But I also put a box that has mostly drowned comb, just empty, as a storage container. I put it on top. So that box, the medium box, was at the bottom, so I swapped it, put it on top, so it was basically totally empty. I put a canvas here to separate these two boxes, and then when I put food in here, so that canvas has some gaps for the bees to go on top and take that honey and bring it back and to fill in this empty box. And let me open and show you from inside. So this is the very top box, closed with another piece of canvas, but this canvas doesn't have any holes, so all bees are in here inside. So if I open it, you can see the bees that are working on cleanup right here. And if I pull now a frame, carefully, so hard to work with one hand, but if I pull out the frame, this frame was like almost full of honey, but and that was similar to the one that I showed you, but they basically removed all the honey, and they, another thing is they fixed all the cells, like they cleaned them, fixed them. They're still removing, the bees are still removing honey. Look at that, you see, they're working on honey removal. So they first liquefy it, they put some water, you can see this drops is liquefied honey, and then they pump it out and they bring it down until that box is full. Like this is another bee that is working on it, working on that honey. So they go one by one and clean up this frame. See, on the other side is a very similar situation. See, this is still solid honey, but I'd like to uncap the remaining cells and spray it. So spray it with warm water to help them to liquefy it, because to liquefy they have to bring water from the other sources. So after they clean it, they will get food for themselves, as well as really nice and clean frame that I can later reuse. So the question is like, okay, if the bees died from a disease, then the disease may propagate to the hive, but in this case it doesn't, because the disease is transferred mostly through the brood, and here they don't transfer brood, they just transfer honey. After they clean it, then I can use this frame for honey, and then they will pump honey in there. And after they will pump honey in there, honey is has antibacterial, antifungal properties. It will kill all of that bad bacteria, and the frame could be used if it's in good condition. It could be used for other hives, like to feed the hives, or maybe extract honey, just extract honey from it and then reuse it or remelt it, but it will be nice and clean frame. Here they're working on fixing this, so I'll help them with this frame. Let's check some other frames. Oh, forgot about that canvas. So let me show you the canvas. So if you look down below, you can see the canvas over there. It has gap on the side, not at the center, but on the side. The queen doesn't go through the sides, it goes through the center. So it prevents queen coming up, but the worker bees, they can come up from the brood box and remove honey and bring it back down in this in the brood box. See, they're working. Like I can remove one more. This one is probably almost totally clean. Look, this is almost empty frame. It's mostly empty, I would say. So they clean up this frame, and now this frame is actually very nice and clean. It can be used. It can be used as a nice brood frame. See, it's built comb. Some of it is drone cells. Some of it is worker cells. Sorry, focus is not good, but see, they're still working on it, removing this light leftovers of honey, but this frame is mostly clean. So I can put it on the side and do a little bit better picture. See, these holes, they allow for the bees. I'm talking about these holes here. Allows bees to come up and take the honey. And here's another frame, and the bees are working on it. So this has a little bit more honey in it. Like that. See, it's but see how nice and clean it is. It has some capped honey, so I want to uncap it and then spray it with gonna spray it with warm water. So I put it like this just to show you, and then I use an uncapping fork and I uncap all of these cells. So to be careful, it's hard to work when looking in the camera, but this is basically the process. You can also shake the bees. I think I should shake the bees first because I wanna get them upset, but see, just like that. So you uncap it, and see the cells look messy, but after I put it in there, they fix everything, and it will look nice and uniform, all the cells, and ready to go. That's the benefit. Like if you put it to get wrapped, they will just tear everything apart. Like you won't have nice cells. But if you put it inside of the hive, like this setup, then they will clean it nicely and they will take care of it. They will disinfect it. They do whatever is needed, and then it also will give them nice supply of honey, and that will help to boost the population of bees. So this is essentially the process. So I'm gonna clean it and then put it back, spray it with water, and then I'm gonna put it back in the hive, and then to finish this frame. And I'm gonna see what I can remove from here to put that frame, the original frame that I showed you that I want them to clean. So I will uncap it and will put inside of the hive. See, they're working on honey and passing it to each other. And they don't care much about me. See, as soon as I uncapped it, they started to pump that honey right here. They're pumping it and bringing it down, pumping and bringing it down. So it's important to uncap it. If you don't uncap it, then they won't take it. They will seal it and that's it. Or will take just a little bit. But if you uncap it, you basically gonna force them to take that honey inside of the hive, and then it will be deposited in here. So this is another way to in this medium box. Super. This is another way to recycle all the frames that have a little bit of honey, and even to renew the honey and collect some honey early in season, because the honey will be enriched with enzymes and will be renewed, and then you can extract it and just use that new fresh honey. See, this is how they're working on it. It's amazing that this time of year, if we are careful enough, we can work with the bees without using any of the personal protection equipment. See, they're totally occupied by work. So these are worker bees. They're not even guarding it much because they're not stinging me. So they're just using that storage honey to populate or to add supplies to their hive. Okay, I checked through all of the frames in this feeder box. You can see this is the other side. And the last frame here, they fix it, but I will probably remelt it. Not probably, but I will remelt it, because this is one example. It has pollen, and it basically solidified pollen. They clean up mold a little bit, but I don't want this frame to stay in there. But for now I just leave it because I want them to finish clean up. So I uncap this honey. See, some honey is crystallized, and I'll use water to spray on it. And this is some intermediate location where they see the shiny dots, where they put honey before they move it down. It's important to catch it, to remove it before they start going up. So I need to look at inside and see how full that box is. If it's full, I will need to supply another box. Maybe I'll quickly check it. I removed it and the box, and here's how it looks like. See the canvas right in the middle, but on the sides we have these gaps for the bees to go up. These are some pieces of honey that fell and bees are cleaning it. And under canvas I have frames, and supposedly they put that honey in the frames. Let's pull out the frame and see. The side one doesn't look like it's full. So I pull out the side frame, it's totally empty. So I think they're bringing honey down below where they have brood, but that's okay. So here's another frame. So it's getting a little bit more dangerous now because I'm getting closer to their brood box. Now this queen cup, I'm gonna remove it, but this is again another empty frame. And then if you look further inside, see, they get agitated because I'm not using any smoke, and now I'm in their sacred domain, in their brood box. But the brood is down below, so they still use these frames as to store, or they will use it to store honey, so they're preparing it. Okay, now I see it. So in this frame they started to put honey in here, so that's good. So I can supply some more frames because this is still just partially, see, like some pollen and fresh honey. On this side is even more. That's where they put their storage, so closer to the center they put that honey, cleaned honey in there. It'll be good for brood, but still I can put many frames in here in this setup to clean them up and to make sure that they have enough food. Okay, I put it all back together. Put the frames back and they get agitated. And here's the canvas. And so now I just put the box on top, and I still have water, so I can use water to dry them down. Like I use it like this, which is safer way than using smoke. They perceive it as a rain and they go inside. And now I will put that food box on top of this box. And to finish, I use this frame, the very first frame that I washed, cleaned, and I uncapped it and sprayed it with water. This is how it looks. So this is honey. This is honey that get solidified, like crystals, which I sprayed with water for them to liquefy. This is still liquid honey because it was collected at different times of the year. And now what I'll do, I'll just put that frame on the side because it's easier for them to remove it closer to the brood nest, and they will take this honey and they will move it inside. And I will take away this frame that is already cleaned and it has only a few drops of honey, which is fine. Don't worry much about it. But this is a nice clean frame that I can use even for brood. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.